Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Pink Power's Monday Night Team Call on December 30th, 2019. So it's the last team call of the decade, last team call of the year. So we're super excited to come together and just bring you some inspiration and some ways to think about how you can continue to move strong into this new year and this new decade. So I'm Eilers-Heffner. I'm an Emerald Ambassador. I'm also a physical therapist by trade, and I have 4 kids. So I'm here with Lauren Smithson, so I'll let her introduce herself, and I have a couple things I wanted to just share with you to open up our call.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Smithson, Emerald Ambassador as well, and also physical therapist. That's about it. No other real introduction for me. So, Elizabeth, if you wanted to start a couple things and then let me know when you want me to jump in. Oh, no. Did she freeze for other people too? Uh-oh. Let's give her a minute or two, I think. I'll message her really quick.
Are we good? Is it fine now?
Now you're good. There you are. Okay.
Okay. I switched my internet, so hopefully that's better. So, all right. Yes. So a couple of things. So when we are moving forward into such a big change, a big year, a new start, okay, we have a company that is standing behind us and giving us another generous opportunity to bring growth to our team and to our networks. And so we're just super duper excited to bring you all of these tips. And so what we want to do is think about our wins for the past year. We want to think about our struggles. You might want to kind of jot down some notes about this, because we need to think, like, what did I expect of myself? What did I expect of my team? And kind of reflect back on that and analyze it to say, what can I do to move forward differently? What can I do to learn from my mistakes? What can I do to maybe update this process or something like that? And the other thing that you can do when you're thinking about where you've come over this past year is go back to some messages that you sent to people 6 months ago or a year ago or whenever you started even, and look at what voice messages you sent to people or written messages you sent to people, and think how much that's improved from just doing it, right? So it's not about perfection. It's really not. It's about letting God speak through us and bringing this opportunity of health and happiness and financial freedom to our people that we know, okay? And so when you really look back at where you've come, I think you're going to be surprised very pleasantly with how far you've come. So physical therapist, first day on the job, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, which I just went to school for all those years. Like, I did know what I was doing. But now, there's some parts of my job that I can kind of do in my sleep, so to speak. Not everything, of course, and I don't mean to take that lightly. It just means that I'm more comfortable and more experienced, right? But that didn't come in the first day. And this is the same thing. We all have this ability to feel empowered in this opportunity to bring that to other people. So anyway, that is what I wanted to remind you of, is that you have come a long way. You will continue to go far. And we have just a new start, an amazing opportunity here in front of us.
Yes, so good to start that off. Thank you, Elizabeth. So I have been preparing for this call for most of the day, and for a few weeks, Elizabeth and I have been kind of chatting about what we want to talk about. And so I have 8 different tips here for you today. I'm going to try to keep it short as I can, because I know it's an important end of the month, end of the year thing right now, but I do have a few important things that I want to share. So The first thing I want you to do as you prepare for 2020 is to write down your goals, but not just write them down like, I want to be an Emerald Ambassador, I want to be a Diamond, I want to drive a Plexus Lexus, but write them down as if they've already happened. And those of you that watched Lori Welch and Amber Miller's live this morning, you've already heard this, but it's so important, I'm saying it again. Write it down as if it's already happened. Say, I am a Plexus Diamond, I am driving my Plexus Lexus, because when you have thoughts like that, your actions will follow the thoughts that you have. So writing down your goals as if they already happened will already get your feet in the right direction to move toward those goals. So that's my tip number one. Number two, just like Elizabeth said, reflect back on your 2019. I want you to think about all the things that maybe did or did not happen. Maybe some of you aren't where you thought you would be at the end of the year. Maybe some of you are. But either way, look back on the previous year and look at some of those smaller wins even. If you're not right where you are right now, look at some of the smaller wins you've had as well. Because it's so easy to look at what you did not accomplish. I think that happens a lot, don't you? Where we look at the last year and we say, well, I didn't do this, and this is another thing I didn't accomplish, and I'm still 20 pounds over the weight that I want to be. But instead of looking at the things that you did not accomplish this year, think of the things that you did, because those things are really important too, and they're the things that are going to keep you moving forward. So I have 10 extra points in my back office than I did last year, or I stuck to my healthy eating plan for 3 solid months, and then life happened, but those 3 solid months were really good. So think of the things that happened that were really good for you too, and start to focus on those things in this new year as well, because that's what's going to keep you hungry and keep you excited for the next win. Okay, so number 3, and just a disclaimer here really quick. This call, us saying this, is just as much for ourselves as it is for all of you, because nobody is perfect here. Nobody has every single answer to every single question. And if we said that we did, then we wouldn't be continuously growing. So all of the things that I'm saying to you, I'm saying to myself at the exact same time. So anyway, number 3. This one's going to kind of sound a little strange, but I'm going to start my 2020 in blissful dissatisfaction. So I'm going to explain what that means here, because that probably sounds like backwards to a lot of you. And the first time I heard it, it sounded backwards to me too. But if you think about it, happiness does not equal satisfaction. They are not the same thing. So a lot of times people say, I'll be happy when I'm a Plexus Diamond, or I'll be happy when I lose that 10 pounds, or I'll be happy when I pay off my student loans. But if we place our happiness on a certain destination, then what is happening all the way leading up to that destination? We're not focusing on any of those small wins like I talked about before. And then once we arrive at our destination, we're bringing the same us to that destination. So we're not going to be any more happy than we were when we set that goal in the first place. So what I want you to do is realize that there's an incongruency between what you know you're capable of and what you're currently achieving. So am I currently satisfied with where I'm at? No, I want to be a diamond, but I am going to be happy along the entire journey of getting to diamond, if that makes sense. So am I the weight that I want to be? Not necessarily, but on my way to that weight, I'm going to be celebrating every single win of, I ate really well today. I am moving myself in the direction toward that goal. And those wins, those steps forward, those steps in the direction toward the person I want to be are going to be the things that I celebrate and the victories that I celebrate on the way to the ultimate destination, so that my brain has the amount of happiness and excitement that it needs to have when I get to that ultimate destination. If we start to discount all of the great things that we do on the way to our destination, then our brain actually stops making the same amount of dopamine for those exciting things. And then when we get to the destination, like I said, we're not any happier than we were before. So on your way to your ultimate goal, celebrate every single win that you have. For instance, I want to be a Plexus Diamond. So I have 5 points extra in my in my back office this month, that is a win. I have 10 points extra in my back office, that is a win. Things like that. However, this is not about just getting an Apple Watch or just getting an iPad. I know Elizabeth and I talked about this. We've all talked about this a few different times. Those are things to celebrate, and Plexus is so generous for having things like that on our journeys to make us excited, and we should be celebrating, but then realizing that the ultimate goal is not to get the Apple Watch, if that makes sense. Anything to add there, Elizabeth?
Yes, I do. So I love that. I love that we can enjoy the journey and celebrate those wins all throughout. And I did a live or something a couple of weeks ago and talked about this too, kind of about talking about like these wins. Like, what does our comp plan really mean? What does silver mean? Like, silver is the first rank, but when we actually share what the income is of a silver ambassador, it is showing others like why we're so excited to be a part of Plexus. But anyone that's silver is like, well, I think I want to go to the next thing here, right? You know? And so we're so excited that we've achieved this, and we're going to keep moving forward. And you said something too, like, we're that same person when we meet that goal. And so what kind of diamond do you want to be? What kind of ruby do you want to be? What kind of emerald do you want to be along that way up to diamond? So where are you in this personal growth track too? Like, where are you in knowing what are you going to do with an emerald team? What are you going to do with a diamond team? Like, we need to think about that, and it starts now. It starts at silver. It starts with book club and being on these calls and making that a priority. And, you know, the other thing that I realized after the fact was that when I was done with PT school, I really was like, I didn't have goals because it was such a huge, intense, like crazy time that when I got done, I'm like, whew, I arrived, I'm done. I don't need to do anything else with my life. And I almost think, like, reflecting back, that probably gave me almost some dissatisfaction in my life. Like, I was very happy. I got into youth ministry. I got into other things. I ended up getting married like a year later. Like, all these other things were happening that I was focusing on. And it wasn't like I was a loss, but I'm looking back and going, if I would have thought of maybe like that next goal a little sooner, I wonder how I would have been as a PT or as a wife or a mom or whatever. So it's just interesting to think what I've learned now and how that can be put into practice now. And so ever since I started Plexus, I became silver the first month that I started sharing. I slowly grew up to gold, and by the time I was gold, I was taking part in extra leadership training. I was taking part in masterminds with John C. Maxwell books with Matt Osborne, Rochelle's husband, that he was doing that I paid for, and I would read the book, and I would do the curriculum, and I would show up on an extra call. And, you know, I hear a lot of, I don't have time for this extra stuff. Well, maybe not, but you also don't have time to be an emerald and not know how to help your team as an emerald. It's a lot easier to learn along the way than it is to try and go, well, what happened and all this growth, and now what do I do? And honestly, it's really not that hard to do a little bit of extra. Like, I don't really watch TV, and I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. And maybe you enjoy TV. So maybe something else needs to be shifted in your life, right? But just keep that in mind, that along this way, we're just thinking, and I'm already thinking, like, I can't wait to, you know, I really want to develop myself in these areas so that I can add value in these specific areas. So I'm already thinking and planning, like, as I'm building my team and as I'm still going up these ranks, about these other things that I'm interested in doing. And I'm not sure yet. I have a lot of ideas in my head, but I'm excited that even at the top, even at that diamond, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm diamond, I'm done. I don't have to do anything else. I'm thinking, okay, good. Then what's the next thing, right? So I'm excited to see that shift in my mind, and I know that that can happen for you as well.
Such good points. Oh my gosh. Elizabeth, I'm always like Plexus Church when you're talking. You're so good. The next point that I wanted to make too, that I think is really important, is not comparing ourselves. And I know we've talked a lot on these calls about not comparing ourselves to other people. So keeping your blinders on, don't worry about what he's doing, what she's doing, and that's fine. And that's something we've talked about a lot. But I also think that we need to talk about not comparing ourselves to ourselves. And this is what I mean by that. If you are comparing yourself, your body right now, to your body like pre-children, or you're comparing your body to when you were like 17 years old and you could eat whatever you wanted and look however you want, or if you're comparing your points in your back office now to what they were earlier, if you haven't re-ranked yet, if you're comparing your finances now to what they were when you felt like you had your stuff together, stop doing that, because comparing yourself even to your former self is just going to bring you down and bring you into this unhappiness, like drowning in unhappiness. So stop comparing yourself. Just look at where you're at right now, and you can just move forward from there. There's no sense in looking back at where you were, because you're not going to the past, you're going forward. So focus in that direction. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is upgrading the people that you're spending time with. So this one, I am really excited about this analogy I'm going to share with you. Elizabeth and I have talked about this a lot, and it's pretty cool. But our identities are like a thermostat. Okay, so let's say that your identity, the thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself, is set at about 74 degrees. So as we start getting results, we start losing the weight, getting our finances in order, ranking up to higher ranks in our company, whatever it is that you're achieving. For some reason, most people start getting their temperature up a little higher. You're getting to 75, 76, 80, 81, and you're like, whoa, this is uncomfortable. This is outside of my comfort zone. I'm anxious. I'm not so sure. So then, not even knowing it, we start to cool down our life a little bit to get back to where our comfortable 74 degrees is, right? So what we need to do to keep our temperatures higher, because it's just natural to, regardless of the outside circumstances, it's natural to be uncomfortable when we start to get some results. We need to start surrounding ourselves with people that are at higher temperatures already than us. So if your finances aren't in order and you know of people that they do have their finances in order, spend time with them to raise your finance temperature. If you really want to do well in your business, then spend time with people that are doing really well in their business and learn from them, so that you can start getting your temperature raised higher and higher, so that you're not uncomfortable with getting those results. You are the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose wisely, you guys. Choose the people that are going to raise your lid, that are going to lift your temperature up, and that are going to encourage you when it starts to get higher, so that you're not unintentionally cooling your life back off by, opening a window or whatever it is. You need to keep moving forward and surround yourself with the people that encourage you along the way to do that as well. Anything to add to that, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I was going to say, we really kind of do that naturally, or at least I always have, and I think it's kind of like common, but maybe you haven't thought about it in that way. So when I got married, I'm like, oh, I really like, or around that time I was getting married, I really like how that couple interacts with one another. I really like different things about their marriage. I like how they communicate or whatever. And I was thinking, I would pick up on that with like older people too, not just people our age, because everyone our age is just, when you're getting married, they're all trying to figure it out, right? And you're all in the like honeymoon, like, oh, everything's perfect stage and all of that. But once, I would look at these older couples and just go, I really enjoy that. I like that. So I would gravitate to them, and I would ask them these wives questions and things like that. And the same thing with motherhood. Like, I really like how she talked to her kid when her kid was acting like a crazy person. I need to know those tips and tricks. And so I gravitated, and I was like, let me learn. And I think that has served me well as a PT, in the workforce. Like, oh, I really, really liked how he explained this and that to that patient. So I need to like listen. So across the gym, you know, I'm doing something with one patient and I'm like paying attention to these other therapists and what they're doing to learn more from that. And that is exactly what we can do here in this business and this opportunity. Is that's why we have calls. It's why we have training calls, why we have stuff on YouTube, why we have the Pink Powerful training pages. All of that stuff is so that we can surround ourselves with those that are great at things that we want to learn from. We want to learn to be a recruiter. You pick up all of Cody Helmer's videos and Brittany Howard's videos and Christine Hansman. Like, you get into those girls' stuff and learn from it. You know, that's why we're here. So I just think that I think sometimes we need that reminder, like, that's what we're doing. What we're doing is natural, and you've probably done it in other areas of your life. And so just carry that into this business. You know, a lot of that is definitely like that. I'm just going to add this in because I'm already talking, but we should really feel empowered to talk to our team, to help our prospects, to help our friends and family. We should really feel empowered to help them. We should never feel like, oh, I don't know what to say. Well, maybe you're going to fumble through it a little bit the first couple times, but that doesn't mean that you don't know what to say. And that you need to feel confident in that, because you really have nothing to lose. These are people that you love and that love you, that you're talking to, a lot of them, or that they know you and they trust you, you know? And so you have nothing to lose. We do this all of the time. Like, I don't have a problem telling my child, like, we're not going to treat our sibling this way, and this is why, and this is a better response. You know, I don't have trouble saying that. I feel empowered to teach them so they can learn, right, and be mentored by me. And so it's the same thing. It's just, you have to kind of take that under your wing and know, like, yeah, my intention is to help them get over their migraine. So that means I'm going to have to be really helpful with them through detox, right? Something like that. So just don't hesitate. Just feel empowered by this. You know, we need to take something that we do in our life and that we feel confident in, and translate it to this. There was a podcast I was listening to, and I don't even remember who it was at this point. And she just said, honestly, I don't know if it was Jessica Heffley or if it was Rachel Hollis or who it was. And then she said, think about something that you do well and that you feel confident in. And think about that. And then think about that when you're doing this other hard thing, right? So don't lose sight of that. You know, you have all of these skills inside of you. You can do this. So, yeah.
Such good points. I love your tip about thinking of what you're already confident in while you're doing the scary thing. I think that's really important. My next tip for you is to not be afraid of your own success or your results. I don't know if this is across the board for all of you, but I am one of these people, and this is kind of vulnerable of me to share, but sometimes it scares me thinking of having more success. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but Rachel Hollis talked about it in a current podcast of hers, that she talked about she was reaching for so long for this goal of having her own conference. And then when she finally got it, she was like, oh my gosh, all of these people from all of these different countries are coming to watch me speak. This is a lot on my shoulders. And all of a sudden she started getting nervous about it and scared of the success that she was having for herself. She thought it would take her longer, and it just happened for her. Boom. And so I think instead of being so worried about our success and all of that, we need to, not fear that anymore, because if we do that, that just means that we're taking the responsibility all on our own shoulders. And really, this opportunity and this experience was given to us by God, or whoever your spiritual leader is. I don't know if you're all God people, but for me, it's God. This opportunity was given to me by God. He is going to lead me through it. So if I'm scared to do something, for instance, for me, leading team calls is scary. I have to prepare a whole lot for that. Instead of me being scared for that, I need to just prepare for it and trust that God will help give me the words to portray to all of you. So we have to give it to God. We have to prepare. We have to show up anyway, do things scared, put our entire heart in action with ourselves and plant the seeds, and then He will produce the harvest for us. So don't worry so much anymore about what the results are going to be. Just do the work and your harvest will come. I don't know, Elizabeth, if you have anything to add to that, but I just thought that was so powerful when I was listening to Rachel Hollis talk about just letting God use what you have already given to produce that harvest for you.
Yeah, I mean, totally for sure. Like, you know, we are only responsible for what we can do, right? And so we we take this desire to help people and this desire to dream big and this desire to reach these goals. God gives that to us. And so it's almost unfair if we try to take that all into our own hands. It's taking away that glory from him. But at the same time, God is so big that we can't take that from him. You know, that's an interesting thing to think about too. So I was listening to a sermon and it was talking, and actually my pastor talked about the same thing. It's really funny how I listened to two different churches and that they are a lot, there's a lot that comes together. And, you know, when we talk about worry, so this is kind of off topic, but I think somebody needs to hear it. So we think of, Ellie, you need to go. We think about worry, and when we're worrying about something, what are we doing? We're thinking about this situation or this thing or this illness or this thing that happened to us over and over and over and over again in our head. But what is it when we have faith? Faith is thinking about this great thing that God is going to do in our life, or that he is working out in our life, all at the same time. And so we are called to have faith. We're not called to worry. And it's the same thought, just one is very negative and one is allowing God to have glory in that situation. So take that into the new year, right? Take that. And I wasn't sure how I was going to fit this into this call, and it still may come up in another call, but that is what I need to focus on. So this business isn't hard. You know, this isn't hard. It just is being consistent and showing up and being diligent and learning and doing our best. That is all it is. And honestly, it's finding things in ourselves that we need to overcome and work on. It's these things through this personal growth journey where God is revealing things to us that come up and that we're responsible then to deal with and move forward. That is a huge part of this opportunity. So none of that is hard. This is all great things. It's not hard to drink water and take some supplements. I don't care if people are telling you that. And if you tell them that, say, no, it's not hard to do this. It's learning a new routine. It's learning to brush your teeth every day. You know, you did that. You're successful at brushing your teeth every day. At least I sure hope so. So you can absolutely learn to take your supplements every day. Okay? But there are things that are hard to deal with. Losing a parent is hard. Losing a child or a spouse is hard. Taking some pills is not hard. Learning to eat more vegetables is not hard. Okay? And that, I lost my train of thought. There's too many things going on at my house. And so anyway, those things are, learning to take a pill is not hard, okay? And so, I don't know. It's gone, you guys. This is not good. It's 10 o'clock and now I'm recording and I don't know what I was going to say. I got totally thrown off. So.
That's okay. You said so many good things. It's so good. So good. You guys, we are going to have failures. We are going to have setbacks in 2020, just like we have failures and setbacks every single day. In little things here and there, but that is inevitable. And I want you to think of that instead of as a failure. You're going to think about that as like babies learning how to walk. Babies get up, they start walking, they fall down. Do you think they're like, well, I mean, walking's not for me, I guess? No, they get back up, they try again, they course correct, they learn how to walk. When they do that when they're learning any new skill. We all do that when we're learning new skills, and we take risks, and it's important to take risks and do things even when we feel like we're not ready for them, because we will fall over, we will fail forward, we will make mistakes, but that is how we grow and that is how we learn. So there's that. The last tip that I have for you guys is that you need to be dreaming bigger. So I don't want you to be realistic anymore. I don't want you to think, okay, I'm going to be silver and I'm just going to stay there and that's fine. No, I want you to dream as big as you can even imagine. And then when you think of that, dream twice as much as that. Don't be afraid to dream that big. And if you're afraid to dream that big, then I want you to go back to surrounding yourself with people that will lift you higher, that will stretch you, that will grow you, that will encourage you along the way, because those are the people that are going to help you reach those goals. One example I have of this is Oprah Winfrey. Do you think she was realistic when setting her goals? Probably not, because if you look at all the things that she had to overcome to become what she became, she wouldn't have been there if she was being realistic. But she had somebody in her corner saying, you've got this, you can do this. I know that I believe in you and you need to believe in yourself. And she took the steps, she did the things anyway, even though she was scared. And now we all know who Oprah is and we want her to be our best friends, right? So I think we just have to realize how much we're capable of, and we need to surround ourselves with people that think that we're capable as well. And that is what I'm going to do in 2020 for sure.
For sure. I love it. So exciting. Sorry about my fumbling around, you guys, but I'm sure it'll come back to me and I'll just make a video. So
good. Well, I don't have anything else. I don't know if you do, Elizabeth, but I hope you all are feeling excited about 2020. I think we all have some big goals, and there's a lot of fun stuff happening right now to gear you up for ending 2019 really well and starting 2020 off on a really great foot. So take advantage of what Plexus offers for us. Believe in yourself. You are capable of literally anything you set your mind to. So go into 2020 feeling really strong, you guys.
Absolutely. So exciting. Great job, Lauren. Thanks for being on with me. I so appreciate it. It's really fun.
This was so fun. It was.
Yes. Yes. So you guys have a good night. Happy New Year.
Bye.